Picture the largest unreinforced solid concrete dome on Earth. You'd probably guess it was built with modern tech in the 20th century, right? Wrong. It was poured nearly 2,000 years ago, right in the heart of Rome. No steel rebar, no heavy machinery, and absolutely no computer simulations. It is still standing today, and for the longest time, no modern engineer could clearly explain why this massive structure hasn't completely collapsed under its own weight. Today, we're taking a road trip across the globe to 7 incredible locations where ancient builders engineered things that, according to modern logic, simply shouldn't have existed in their era. Every single one of these mind-blowing sites forces us to ask one very uncomfortable question. What exactly did our ancestors know that we've somehow forgotten? Let's kick things off with that incredible Roman dome. The Pantheon was built under Emperor Hadrian around 125 AD. Spanning over 142 feet across, it still holds the heavyweight title for the largest unreinforced concrete dome in the world. To put that in perspective, the dome of St. Peter's Basilica, built a massive 1,500 years later, is actually smaller, and they had to reinforce it with giant iron chains just to keep it from cracking apart. So how did the Romans pull it off without chains? They used a genius engineering trick that modern architects didn't properly adopt until the 20th century. The concrete at the base is mixed with heavy travertine rock, but as the dome curves upward, they swapped it for pumice, a super light volcanic rock. This means the dome literally gets lighter the higher it goes. At the very top, there's the oculus, a massive 30-foot hole completely open to the sky, and when it rains, the floor is subtly sloped toward 22 hidden drains. The whole building is a flawless, self-sustaining machine. But it gets crazier. In 2023, MIT engineers analyzed Roman concrete under a microscope and found tiny chunks of lime. For years, historians thought these were just sloppy mixing errors. Turns out, when water enters cracks in the concrete, it reacts with these lime chunks to create a chemical reaction that literally seals the cracks back up. That's right, the Pantheon has self-healing concrete, a feature we only just figured out using electronic microscopes. Renaissance legends like Filippo Brunelleschi and Michelangelo spent years studying it, and Michelangelo even claimed it was built by angels, not men. If Roman engineering ahead of its time blows your mind, wait until you see this. A full 1,000 years before Rome even existed, a civilization on the island of Crete was chilling with indoor plumbing, running water, and complex ventilation. In the year 1900, British archaeologist Arthur Evans excavated the Palace of Knossos. He was expecting to find some basic Bronze Age ruins. Instead, he uncovered a massive 5-acre mega-complex with 1,300 rooms. Hidden right beneath the floorboards was a sprawling network of interlocking terracotta pipes. They brought in fresh spring water and flushed out wastewater. The pipes were specially tapered at the ends to create water pressure, a hydraulic principle that wasn't officially mapped out in Europe until the 18th century. The Minoans were essentially living with Victorian-era plumbing hidden under Bronze Age dirt. Evans even found what he called the Queen's Megaron, complete with a working flush-like toilet system that washed waste into a subterranean sewer. Europe wouldn't see sanitation levels like this again until the cholera outbreaks of the 1800s forced them to. How does a civilization capable of this completely vanish from the historical record for over 3,000 years? Drop your theories in the comments below, because historians are still debating it today. If the Minoans were ahead of their time in plumbing, our next stop was miles ahead in pure aesthetics. The mortuary temple of Queen Hatshepsut in Egypt looks like it was designed by a high-end architectural firm in the 1930s. Featuring 3 massive terraces connected by sleek ramps and framed by minimalist rectangular columns, it looks nothing like traditional Egyptian temples.
The architect, Senenmut, did something revolutionary. He didn't just build a temple next to a mountain, he made the mountain part of the building. The geometry flawlessly mirrors the vertical lines of the cliffs behind it. This exact concept, blending architecture seamlessly into a natural landscape, became the holy grail of 20th century modernism. Frank Lloyd Wright became an icon for doing this with Falling Water in 1935, but Senenmut nailed it 3,500 years earlier. The temple's axis is also mathematically aligned, so that on the winter solstice, a single beam of sunlight perfectly illuminates the statue of the god Amun in the deepest sanctuary. That requires insane astronomical precision without telescopes or computers. When her stepson, Thutmose III, took power, he tried to erase her entirely from history, chiseling her face off statues. But he couldn't destroy this temple. To destroy the building meant destroying the mountain itself. Her monument survived 3.5 millennia. Speaking of carving into mountains, our next builders took that to a different level. They literally carved a booming metropolis out of sheer, vertical rock cliffs, and they did it starting from the top down. Welcome to Petra, in modern-day Jordan, the capital of the Nabatean kingdom. This was the ultimate trading hub of the ancient world. The famous Al-Khazneh, or the Treasury, is carved straight out of a rose-red sandstone cliff face, towering 130 feet high. To understand how insane this is, you have to look at their method. They had no scaffolding. They started at the very top of the cliff and chipped their way down. If you make a mistake on the top floor, the whole facade is ruined because you can't exactly glue sandstone back together. The Nabateans blended Greek, Egyptian, and Mesopotamian styles into something completely unique. And get this, archaeologists estimate we've only uncovered about 15% of the city. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out when they finally unearth the other 85%. But the real flex of Petra isn't just the carving, it's the water. They built a desert city of up to 100,000 people, complete with lush gardens and fountains, in a place where it rains just a few times a year. They engineered a massive flash flood dams, cisterns, and ceramic pipes to harvest every single drop of water from the surrounding miles. When the mighty Roman Empire finally annexed the Nabateans in 106 AD, the Roman engineers, who thought they were the undisputed kings of aqueducts, were so stunned by the local water grid that they didn't even try to rebuild it, they just maintained it. That's the ultimate professional respect.